to another edition of Smart Chat here on YouTube.com. Do want to do an NFL video for you, and one of the games that I found intriguing from this past week was the Colts versus the Jets. Andrew Luck coming in against a quarterback, who's average at the very least. Definitely almost like a journeyman. Wasn't even supposed to be the starter for the Jets until Geno Smith got injured. That changed. And the Colts, I think, were favored to win here. And what happens? They lose. And just kind of what's going on with the Colts. I think, obviously just a few things come to mind. As of right now, and I know we're only 2 games into it. There's no defensive rush. No pass defense, no offensive line. And as a result, there's no offensive line and there's no passing offense. Now, listen, Colts have definitely regressed. There's no relationship between ownership, general management, and the field coaches. Other than those problems, everything's all right. If you're a Broncos fan, I'm sure you definitely know a bad offensive line when you see one. And I think, you got to, just based off of these 2 games, you got to say that that the Indy has a, has a line that's competing with how god-awful the Broncos and the Eagles' offensive line is, because all 3 of those teams just awful as far as the offensive line. And I think that's pretty much where the problem is. Hey, but Colts Eagles Super Bowl 50, right? Listen, it's really that they just can't pass block, like I said, and defensive backs can't defend a Pop Warner team and what it is. In the Jets, I think. Is Andrew Luck Peyton Manning? To be honest, anytime Peyton has a turnover, it's never his fault. I know a lot of the papers and a lot of the message boards, not really, blaming Luck, but blaming everyone else. And don't get me wrong, Andrew Luck, definitely deserves some of the blame. The Colts kind of remind me of the Lakers the year they brought in Karl Malone and Gary Payton. Frank Gore and Andre Johnson are, I think, maybe at the end as far as done as being successful NFL players, yet they're taking a lot of money that would have been better spent on offensive line and defensive everything. I think the Colts, honestly, are just lucky that they're playing the worst division in history of the sport. Just some of my thoughts. I know it's, I know it's 2 games in. You might say, that Andrew Luck is sort of overrated. He has a placement as a top-tier quarterback. A lot of fans and a lot of writers are saying, but I don't think it's just justified just yet when you average 20 turnovers per 16 game season, which is what he's currently at. And then you have 7 turnovers and 5 postseason games. Don't get me wrong, he's definitely a good quarterback, but until he cleans up the turnovers, he can't be put up there with Brady, Rodgers, and Manning. Now, I know he definitely takes a lot of shots that no one would take as far as throwing that ball, but you got to stop the turnover. You got to stop him. I've been babbling. I'm going to leave you now, but I just want to give you my thoughts on a game from this week and the Colts losing to the Jets. Until next time.